I learned this new trick. Are you ready? Madam Morrible, flip it around. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a real clock tick. I have not uploaded in a while. But we're here to talk about Wicked. Hi people of the world, my name is Natalie, and I'm very excited to finally welcome back to a video. It has in fact been longer than 3 months. I was studying abroad, and then I just got really behind on posting content, but Wicked finally came out, and we have a lot to discuss. Okay, first I really want to discuss my really seductive cardigan. It's actually a sweater. Like, there's the neckline. This is a sweater that I'm wearing backwards for the purposes of this video, so if anyone comments about that, yeah, I'm wearing a backwards sweater. Just in Elphaba style. I'm getting really excited. With that being said, hopefully if you haven't seen the movie, you don't get that reference, you just think I'm crazy. This video, big spoiler warning. Spoiler warning for the contents of Wicked for Good. Spoiler warning for some specifics about the music, costumes, design, all that fun stuff. I waited just a little bit to make this video because I haven't had a voice for the past week, but also I want to be able to talk in depth for everyone who's seen it. So if you haven't seen it, be sure to watch Wicked for Good, or maybe you want to spoil it for yourself, and welcome. And then come back, watch this video, and then we can fully discuss everything in detail. I just think it's easier to issue that blanket spoiler warning now. Because we do have a lot to cover, I am going to organize this video and lay it out here for you now. First, I'm going to talk about the soundtrack and how the music helps tell the story, and then go song by song and kind of talk about maybe my favorite parts, my least favorite parts, and if I think that song adds a lot to the story. Then I'm going to talk about the costumes, characters, a lot of those characterizations that are unique to this movie. And then finally, I'm going to give my overall thoughts because I do have a lot. I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but think of it as an open discussion. If you have any thoughts about Wicked for Good as we are talking, feel free to leave those down in the comments below. I really miss chatting with all of you. And again, it's been a hot minute since I've actually recorded a video. I have seen Wicked for Good twice. Well, maybe kind of 3 times. I went to see it with my friends while I was studying abroad in Rome, and then we accidentally got tickets for the showing entirely in Italian. So then the next day we went in English, so that was my first official time. And then I saw it with my mom yesterday, so a lot of really exciting stuff going down. And I'm gonna be honest, the first time I watched it, I wasn't really a fan. I know that's evil to say. There was just something about it that I couldn't quite put into words why it wasn't my favorite, but then watching it a second time, I actually liked it a lot more on my second watch. So, disclaimer, I am a huge Wicked fan. I actually saw Wicked live in Spain, in Madrid, when I was studying in Rome. I made a trip because I just thought Wicked would be really awesome to see in Spanish, and it was. I am a huge Wicked fan, so everything I say with love for this franchise. Also, I am going to be a little bit critical. So again, take everything I say with a grain of salt. These are all my opinion, and I'm going to say that a million times. This is my personal opinion. What I say is not the Grimmery, so please, 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 please don't be mean and hateful in the comments. And if you are, then there's nothing I can really do to stop you. No good deed goes unpunished. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm annoying myself now. Starting with the soundtrack. I feel like the opening of this movie was very powerful. I saw in an interview that it actually went through a series of reshoots, which is one of the reasons why this costume hasn't appeared in the movie. I will get to that more specifically when I talk about costumes and characters, because I was kind of a hater for a long time, and now that it wasn't included, I feel like I hated too hard. But it opens with Every Day More Wicked, and I actually like that it's its own song as opposed to the musical soundtrack where it's just like, thank goodness. I like that Every Day More Wicked is a song, and I kind of, this is foreshadowing a little bit, we see a lot more of Elphaba than we did. She has a few lines, it goes to her motive, which I think is really interesting. This song is has my favorite thing, and I think the whole movie, when Glenn is going out and singing the popular la 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 la, and then when the guards are like la 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 la. After I saw that movie, because first we saw it in Italian, and we're like, oh, it's in Italian, we should probably leave. But I left after that scene, and like I've seen that scene 3 times, and it never gets old. Like when the guards are like, la 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 la, like that's my favorite thing. I have played that nonstop, so I have to give the movie credit where credit's due. So I feel like Every Day More Wicked kind of helps shape the tone. I'm not gonna talk that much about Michelle Yeoh's acting. I know I've seen that a really common point of contention. One thing that like I think is she has said in interviews she's not a singer. So some of the singing lines, she's not a singer. I'm not gonna critique her too much on that because I feel like a lot that's been said has already been said. It's not necessarily sorry, that was my dog Sadie. That was really loud. Here, Sadie. I'm home alone right now. Oh, you can't see Sadie. I'm home alone right now, and Sadie was really quiet, and she jumped onto my bed. Hi, Sadie girl. You want to talk about Wicked for good? Do you want to talk about Wicked Part 2? Okay. Sorry, that was probably really scary. Sadie is now going to be our guest. You can't see her. Sadie is now going to be our guest. I'm so sorry. I have no idea where I left off. Sadie's right off the frame, and I think she's adorable and awesome, so I'm just going to be distracted by her and her beauty. Hey, pretty, you want to talk about animal rights? You want to talk about the rights of the animals? Oh, we'll get to that whenever we talk about Elphaba's song. Okay, anyway. Thank goodness. Michelle Yeoh. There we are. Again, it's not my place to critique her singing. I feel like I saw a comparison where a lot of the other actors, because they come from theater backgrounds, they're very over-the-top, dramatic, musical theater-esque. But then Michelle Yeoh, she's very grounded in like naturalistic acting, which is what she's like, so she kind of feels a little bit out of place. Again, that's all I'll say to her acting abilities because she is an amazing actress. Anyway, moving on to Thank Goodness. I don't really know where to start with this one. Thank Goodness is my personal favorite number in the whole show. So I understand. My expectations were just too high. But I texted my friend. I was like, Ariana Grande sounds like Ariana Grande. Like there's like this one specific section. Like I don't even like, there are bridges you cross. Like that's not what Ariana Grande sounds like. I'm so sorry for that. But there's like a part where she like sounds, and it kind of took me out a little bit. So that was like a personal preference. She's amazing. I also think it's interesting the way she played Thank Goodness, like very sad. And obviously like that is a very key part of Glinda's story at this point. Like she is very sad. She's starting this new life. But also it's like that was kind of her overwhelming emotion. And I feel like a lot of Broadway Glindas try to mask that by being over the top. But because it's a movie, she's able to be more grounded. But again, she did a phenomenal job. My personal expectations were just not realistic, so I didn't really love it. But then after listening to it and watching it again, like I feel like she does portray those emotions. Also, this is a critique I have with Wicked the show, because Wicked Act 2 is just not as strong as Wicked Act 1. You've seen a lot of discourse about that, I'm sure, but I have no idea how much time passes between Wicked Act 1 and Wicked Act 2. At the beginning of like the movie, when it's like a voiceover, it's like there have been 12 tide turns. What does that mean? It's been more than a year, right? Like, did Glinda ever finish college? I imagine Elphaba didn't, but like that's always been something. Like, this isn't a movie critique, this is just the show in general. Like, I was just confused, but I always am confused. So, and also they did call this song on the movie soundtrack, because I have it up on Wikipedia so I don't forget, Thank Goodness / I Couldn't Be Happier. I know that's what a lot of people refer to it as, but I just think it's interesting that's like what the track name is. So then we have our first of the new songs, No Place Like Home. So, pros and cons. Pro, I think it is really cool how we see more of Elphaba's like activism, like the fact that she had this big defying gravity moment about animal rights and how she's very powerful, very stick it to the man, and then we see more of her like actually being an activist. But the message of the song, I don't know if I can entirely get behind it. I was texting with my friend Allison about this a little bit. Like, it's not the best message. Like, she's seeing and like directly making all these statements about how awful the wizard is treating animals, but also she's like, hey, don't leave. And it is, like, I want to stick it to, like, a revolution versus reform. No, it's not. It's just them leaving versus them not leaving. Sorry, I've been thinking about revolution versus reform debates a lot lately. That has a lot to do with Wicked. That's a personal story I don't want to get into right now. But it's really interesting about, it's like there's no place like home, don't leave, but whenever they're being treated so terribly, and like she's not an animal. Like, yes, she has been discriminated against, but like also, I don't know. It's a little bit icky. And it's a good song. Cynthia Erivo was amazing, beautiful singer, but it's not something that I would go back listening to like, damn, I need to listen to that more. That is a wicked song. Like, yeah, it's called No Place Like Home, like The Wizard of Oz, but I don't know. I feel like I still need to cook a little bit more on my thoughts about that. I feel like before every song I give like a sigh. But The Wicked Witch of the East, it also wasn't my favorite. I was so excited because I feel like the power of Nessa is she's like this character at the beginning. Well, they're all characters at the beginning, but she's like a little bit annoying. People like really don't like her. But then she becomes the governess and she has this like powerful singing moment. Like Wicked Witch of the East is like bam. And a lot of this song is like talked through, and I feel like the changes they've made to the movie, I feel like the changes actually work. Like, she wanted to feel like she was floating, it's less discriminatory against wheelchair users, so I don't necessarily have any critiques about like the change itself. I more have a critique of like it was talked through, and then my friend who wasn't as familiar with Wicked was like, well, why did Nessa just go outside and like sing in the mirror about the Wicked Witch of the East and the girl in the mirror? And I was like, yeah, it did kind of come out of nowhere because she like sung through a lot of it, and then Bach gets turned in the Tin Man. Spoiler. This whole video had a spoiler warning. And then she's just like looking in the mirror and like, the Wicked Witch of the East. I need to stop singing. I'm so sorry to anyone who has ears. But it just kind of come out of nowhere. It's not my favorite. And I was really excited to see that there was like a soundtrack about it, and a lot of it was dialogue. So, you get what you can. Wonderful. I actually liked Wonderful. I feel like a lot of the Wizard songs, like, I just skip because I'm like, it's a man. I don't like listening to men sing. But I feel like with Glinda, it's kind of cute. Like, she got really excited, like, right before the wedding. And the scene before that is, like, an interesting addition because we are seeing more of Elphaba and Glinda, like, interact before for good and, like, the cat fight. Well, out of the order. But it's interesting. I feel like it's fun. Jeff Goldblum, like, this is a song where he can, like, not be the best singer and like have fun with it, and that's like the point of The Wizard. So I'm not going to talk too much. The visuals were nice. Also, the fact that they had the little defying gravity moment, like, that's crazy. Like, and then they're like swinging on the swing, like, I really liked that scene. So I'll give Wonderful its credit. I'm not that girl reprise. I feel like before every song I give a sigh. I promise I liked the movie. Did we really need to add that ending? I don't really think it added much. Like, yes, I love a Broadway musical transition, especially the transition between I'm Not That Girl reprise and As Long As You're Mine. But, like, I get why we didn't do that. Like, movies, they take longer to transition, different acts, different, like, scenes. But that ending just didn't really feel necessary. So, I feel like Ariana Grande, good singer, good acting. As Long As You're Mine. The reason for my sweater. Like, I don't know if I actually showed you. Like, if I turned around. Oh, this is not. But, like, there is a hole in the sweater because this is not actually a cardigan. Oh, Elphaba fell. Oh, wait. I have props. But, so, I'm just gonna say, the first lyrics of that song are, kiss me too. I'm not gonna sing. This is crazy. I'm being delusional. I'm 20 years old. But the first lyrics are, kiss me too fiercely, hold me too tight. And then here's Elphaba. This is actually really great. Why? My Glinda, I have an out-of-box Glinda doll too. Like, don't worry, I'll just reenact the movie for you. But it's like, she's all the way here, and he's like back here, like slowly kind of starting to like take off his like suspenders. And it was just very odd. And then at one point they're like floating in the air, but they're not like, sorry, this is being too much. The movie was PG, maybe this is PG, like, 13. But, like, they're just floating in the air at one point, and then it just doesn't really make sense. Like, they're both amazing singers, and, like, your feeling as long as you're mine. Like, they're very, like, close, but then at one point they're, like, chasing each other. And, like, maybe because in the musical, they're, like, on top of each other, like, being all grabby. That was kind of, like, what my expectation was. But again, it's PG. I get it. There were a lot of kids in my theater, which was interesting. It wasn't really my favorite. It was kind of odd. Like, they're in the forest and she's got her, like, swamp lingerie and, like, swamp cardigan. Like, someone needs to call up Shrek. Like, that's how the Shrek babies were made. But it's just kind of odd. And, like, oh my god, they're both amazing singers. So, like, hearing Fiero's part, like, somehow, I'm gonna not sing. But, like, great. And then, No Good Deed. This is controversial. This is controversial. No Good Deed kind of got off to a slow start. Like, there were parts where Cynthia Erivo was kind of like talk singing through, but you could tell she was talk singing in an American accent. And I really wanted the moment where they would just let her sing. But once she finally got to sing and, like, let it rip, it was amazing. Cynthia Erivo was so talented. I'm talking about you, girl. Like, she was so talented. Like, whenever she opted up for the Fiero, like, because I, like, heard a little bit before I saw the movie, like, the Fiero! That's not what it sounds like. But the opt up for Fiero was interesting. Again, with the transitions, because I understand that it's not a musical, but the fact that there wasn't the, like, Fiero before she starts, like, the looking and not too much. Sorry, you put a doll in my hand and I just have too much fun. It's interesting they cut out Elphaba's, like, initial Fiero, but I get it, movies, whatever. And then March of the Witch Hunters, like, yeah. I feel like a lot of the general consensus is, like, Ethan Slater sounded scary. He's, like, really angry and really intense, and I respect it. So, March of the Witch Hunters. And then, Girl in the Bubble. That's not what the sound sounds like. I forgot what the song sounds like. I don't feel like it's necessary. And I don't feel like either of the original songs are going to win them an Oscar. Like, I know they're written so that writers could, like, be put up for Best Song at the Oscar, but, like, K-pop Demon Hunters is going to beat them. Maybe I'm wrong. Controversial opinion. I've actually never seen K-pop Demon Hunters. But I just feel like it's not that strong because it's sad and it shows Ariana Grande's, like, emotional depth. She's singing, she's very nice, like, girl in the bubble, the bright, shiny bubble, waiting for it to pop. It just kind of slows the pacing a little bit in a way that it doesn't really seem necessary, but because, like, we know that Glinda's sad about all of this. Like, we get that she's sad. Ariana Grande has played her sad the whole time. We don't need another song saying, like, wow, she's sad. But little Glinda is cute. The little actress is cute. And then For Good, sorry. For Good, it's sweet. It's For Good. Like I said, our 8th grade graduation, there were 2 people that sang a rendition of For Good. Like, you've heard For Good. It's very sweet. The background of the, like, when they're singing is kind of odd because it's just kind of, like, plain and they're just kind of, like, walking. Like, yeah, obviously it's a movie and then they're singing. But I feel like a lot of the visuals, especially with Glinda and Elphaba, like we see in the trailer of, like, them with the colors during Wonderful, it just kind of, like, a little bit lackluster, but they're both amazing vocalists. And then the, like, finale that's not included in the soundtrack, like, yeah, that's solid. Those high notes, good job, Ariana Grande. I'm going to stop talking about the soundtrack now and transition into costumes and characters. I'm going to start this section of the video when talking about, like, the characters in saying that, like, I'm familiar with Wicked. A lot of critics and people are not. And this, although I had a lot of critiques about the music, like, there is an improvement from Act 2 of the musical because Act 2 of the musical happens really fast. Things are just, like, happening like that. It's kind of confusing, a little bit, like, strange to follow, but I feel like having extra time did allow for them to, like, flesh out more of the relationships, but also it still is Wicked Act 2. So like a lot of people who are commenting about like the actual contents of the movie just need to realize that's just how it goes. That's just how the Oz cookie crumbles. That's how the bubble pops. That's just how the bubble pops. First thing I'm going to talk about in the costumes is a thing that I'd like to talk about a lot actually on this channel. I've talked about it more than anything else, any other topic, is Glinda's costumes, because it might seem that I just complain a lot. And according to me, nothing can ever be right. And I apologize for all the complaining I've done in the past. I'm only just gonna complain this one more time. I don't have any of the Wicked Part 2 dolls because Glinda only really has, I think, 3 new costumes, because she has like her very beginning dress from the very beginning, and then her wedding dress, and then her ball gown. So like I'm gonna get a ball gown doll. This is not like sponsored, it should be though. Like, but there aren't that many dolls for me to get because she only spends the musical in her blue dress, which very beautiful gown. But I have a theory. A wicked theory! I'm sorry. Hopefully no one is watching it by this point. No one is going to watch me talk this much. But my theory is that whenever they did reshoots, because they did do reshoots after the initial filming wrapped in the blue dress, and then in the trailer we see a lot of the scenes in her with her like presumably, sorry, Sadie was not comfortable, her presumably like thank goodness dress. I think the reshoots were refilming in the bubble gown and then just kept her in the bubble gown, and I can see that being like, okay, Glinda's a public figure, she only is seeing the same thing, uniform association, but also like, it's kind of boring. I would take the kind of ugly AI looking dress that I complained about over nothing at all. That would make a cool doll, but I digress. I feel like, yeah, could be better, but Paul Tazewell did a great job with the other costumes. Now looking at Elphaba, I'm genuinely just looking down at my dolls now. I feel like giving her pants, that was smart. This is a Wicked Part 1 doll where she's not wearing pants. Sorry, that was weird. That was pretty cool. Her costumes, awesome. And I did see like things online saying like her makeup made her look older, and I think like, yeah, I can buy into believing that her makeup, the way it was done, made her look older this time. Yeah, why not? And then her As Long As You're Mine swamp cardigan and lingerie. Like, what was that? Is that like seductive? Maybe it's in the books, because as I've mentioned in the past, I started reading the books in like 7th grade during state testing and then realized I should not have been reading the books, and then I stopped. So maybe there's like a secret part in the books when they find out it's purple, and then they're like, oh, also she likes to bang it out in a ratty gray cardigan. But interesting choice, but also I see why. Adding more clothes helps keep it PG. Fiero. Ooh, we could talk about Fiero as a scarecrow. Sorry. I didn't write a script for this video, if you couldn't tell. He kind of looks like Ryan Reynolds. That was my first thought. Fiero as the Scarecrow looks like Ryan Reynolds. And I feel like I've seen other people talk about that, but like that was my thought first, everyone. And then I feel like his costume, like Captain the Guard, his like messed up Captain of the Guard after, you know, his crazy night. Solid. And then like Scarecrow, I feel like the makeup in this movie is really great. Like, I didn't realize that like the whole Scarecrow thing was practical effects. I don't know why I'm touching his face. And same with like Bach, the Tin Man. Like the Tin Man looked like really scary, really good, very accurate. The line was just weird. I don't know. He really like made me angry. Like the line is not that prevalent in the musical, and they like really hyped up like the voice actor for the line is gonna be this, it's gonna be great, and like he's in it more than he is in the musical, but like he didn't have to talk, and he cut Elphaba off while she was singing. Rude. I'm trying to think of other things. Like, my mom was so funny because she's like, could you imagine like booking Dorothy, like a dream role, and then just like not showing your face? And I wouldn't have done Dorothy any other way. Like, that is the one thing, like, this movie is not about her. You should not see her face. It's just like the shadows. Like in the musical, a lot of times it's silhouette, so I understand that. I'm trying to think of what else. Solid. In her one costume she's wearing, looks like Nessa. Madame Morrible, MM, flip it around. Wicked Witch. That's my favorite thing. All of my TikTok reposts are about this. My friends hate me. Um, her costumes are cool. And the wizard, he looks like the Wizard of Oz. Good job, Jeff Goldblum.
This is me editing it. I forgot to mention the like CGI of like young Jeff Goldblum to like make him look younger. Like when it's like, oh my god, I'm Elpha's dad. I thought that was Derek Huff from Dancing with the Stars. Like I thought it was like a really warped version of Derek Huff's face, and it was just really bad CGI. So that's another one of my thoughts.
Like there was more to say, but I honestly just forgot. But one thing that like John M. Chu was really excited about was like the ending shot of like the whisper, the Glinda White, Elphaba herself, the movie musical poster. I forgot how words worked. Like it's like the whisper. It's like, oh my god, it's like the poster. But for some reason, like I knew they were trying to do the poster, like once she whispered, but I just thought like it was like a wedding dream sequence because Glinda was like wearing like a white hood. I was like, is this like a dream wedding sequence? And then she whispered and I was like, oh, they're like doing the thing. Which I think is fine, but I just did not understand. It went over my head at first. I thought it was like an alternate reality where they got married. Also, that scene was kind of cute when they did the flashbacks. Some other standout scenes are when Elphaba tells the wizard to run. I thought that was fun. Like, it was like, woo. Also, this is just a side note. I feel like I'm gonna wrap up. My camera is at 7%. 6-7. Sorry, that was terrible. I hate myself. I'm gonna delete that. Oh my gosh, it's giving me like red lights and red warnings. Oh no. Okay, really speedy. I thought that it was really funny when she told the wizard to run. Also, right before that scene, I went to see it originally in Italy. I went to Rome. When I studied abroad in Rome, there was an intermission. And there was like a 10-minute intermission in the middle of the movie. But whenever I went to see it with my mom in Pittsburgh, there was not an intermission. So if you saw it in theaters, did your theater include an intermission right before, like, when Chistery, the monkey, like, points in and she, like, opens the secret door with all the animals in cages? Also, I didn't know that was supposed to be Dr. Dillman. He was just a regular goat. I was like, why are we zooming in on this goat? The year intermission between Act 1 and Act 2 really got me. Because at first, until she was like, Dr. Dillman, I just thought it was a goat in a cage. The CGI kind of messed me up a little bit. But we had an intermission. And then I was like expecting I really had to go pee. And I was like, it's okay, I'll just wait for intermission. And I just realized American movies don't do that. So if you had an intermission in your theater, comment down below. Camera is on the verge of dying and I really don't feel like redressing up in my seductive cardigan and filming this all again. So I'm gonna do my wrap up here. Again, I actually liked the movie. I've seen it twice. The more that I saw it, the better that it got for me. I think my expectations were just unrealistically high. I've talked about this movie a lot. I also made the mistake of seeing Wicked live right before seeing the movie and just having such an amazing live vocal performance and then a movie that had amazing live vocals. I know their vocals were recorded live, but it's just a different feeling of sitting in a movie theater versus sitting in like a traditional theater. My expectations were unnecessarily high, and then I saw it again. I actually really enjoyed it. Again, I saw it with my mom. It was her first time. She really liked it. So, moral of the story is I liked it. I'd watch it again. If it was on a plane and I had a 9.5-hour plane ride, I would watch part 1 and part 2 and kill a lot of time. But I don't really know if it was as this amazing, godly, defying gravity movie as I like initially would have thought. It was a good movie, but also I feel like the wait in between kind of helped and hurt it. I wasn't in America for like a lot of the rollout. I feel like I'm being so pretentious every time I say that. But I don't know, like there wasn't as big of a rollout right before this movie. Like there was a huge marketing campaign, a bunch of collaborations, and maybe those collaborations were still happening with Wicked for Good. I just didn't see them because I wasn't in the US. But it felt like this was more of, you know what Wicked is, you need to go see it, as opposed to them actively marketing it. And I feel like that helped and hurt them because I had higher expectations than someone who might not have had background in it. But also, I love the movie, super amazing. Like, comment, and subscribe. I know it has been a really long time since I've uploaded a video, but now that I'm done with my semester abroad, I just have an entire month free and I don't know what to do with myself, I've already finished and edited one of my vlogs from Rome. You can watch that now. I'm going to continue to make more content. I have a lot of like Christmas movie and Christmas content coming up, which I'm really excited about. So make sure to subscribe for that. A lot of really awesome things in the works. I also did see Wicked in Madrid, and if you want a review of Wicked live but in Spanish because it was a non-replica production, let me know. Again, have the bestest day ever. I hope you have an amazalocious time. No, okay. I will see you in a clock tick. Goodbye, 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 everyone. Kisses.